Hey guys, it's Jen over at worldofjencraft.com, and I have sketch number 365 for you guys today from the My Favorite Things sketches that I downloaded. This is actually a pretty simple card. There's no stamping on it, so yay! Well, I mean, aw. I love stamping, but I also like it when you can throw cards together that are pretty simple. And this has a little bit more cutting involved, but it's super quick and super simple to throw together. These supplies that I use for this card are the Iridescent Sequin Assortment, the Celebrate You Thinlits Dies, which are free with a $100 purchase now through March 31st through Sale-A-Bration, the Stitched Shapes Framelits Dies. You're going to need some Versamark for this, along with some clear embossing powder, and I used my fine tip glue pen to adhere everything down. The card itself, the supplies that you will need, are going to be lemon lime twist cardstock. That was really random, sorry. 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2 for your card base. Basic black cardstock is going to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then you'll just need a scrap for your Celebrate and your U when you cut that out, or whatever die set that you have that you could use to go along with this. Whisper White cardstock is 4 by 5 1/4, and I have some Tutti-Frutti DSP. I just love the bright and cherry colors in this. 1 1/4 inch stitch square, and you are going to need 12 of them, and I did 4 in each of 3 different colors for my card. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to get started with the embossing. We'll get that done and out of the way. And I've done this before. This was a technique that I learned from Jennifer McGuire, one of her videos that I really loved. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Versamark, and let's start with the word U. And I'm just going to cover this word here with the Versamark. I want to make sure I get a nice good coverage on that. So just do this here. And then you're going to, I think I might flip my paper over so I don't have all the embossing powder stick to it. So we're just going to cover this with embossing powder, and I'm just going to grab my tweezers to pick this up. So we're going to set this aside and heat emboss this. Now you can certainly leave this with your very first layer, but as you can tell, it's not super, I don't know, I don't think there's enough coverage when you do just one layer. I wish you guys could kind of see what that looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my embossing powder back in to my container, and then I'm going to put Versamark on it one more time. Somehow I ended up with, I think, white embossing powder in here. I'm not sure how that happened. But yeah, so you're just going to put Versamark on this one more time, and then put some more clear embossing powder on it. And this time this should give us enough coverage to get the look that we're going for. I have done this where I've put 3 layers of the embossing powder on here, but the 2 should be sufficient. So I'm going to go ahead and heat dry this again, or heat emboss it. All right. So there you see, that's a much better coverage and layer. And like I said, if you want, you can go over this again, and it just gives it another layer. And turns out it almost looks like a piece of, you know, like an epoxy or whatever those are called. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this again to my word Celebrate, and I'm just going to cut through it since you've already seen me do the first one. Didn't that turn out just really beautiful? I just love the gloss and the extra dimension that this technique gives to our die cuts. So let's go ahead and I'm going to start assembling the front of my card, get all this embossing powder off of it that somehow floats all over the place when you're working. So where's my Tombow? I'm just going to go ahead and put our basic black on top of our lemon lime twist. And there's just going to be just a slight edge all the way around for that one. And we'll do the same with our Whisper White. I think I'm going to be seeing embossing powder for days because some of it went onto my surface, even though I tried to avoid that. All right. Then the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to place your squares. I went ahead and placed them all first before I put them down, just to make sure that I had just enough along my edges. So kind of like this, and I think this one I might move over just a little bit because I do want this to be where I have the exact same amount of space in between each and all of these. So that one looks good there, and then I'm going to go ahead and place these down here. And then I'll place all the ones in the middle, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere all of these on. Have all of these adhered on here. I'm going to go ahead and adhere my Celebrate You. And my Celebrate is just going to go right here, and then my U is going to go right here at the very edge, and I'm keeping my words lined up with the little stitched edges at the bottom here. So I'm just going to use my fine tip glue pen and get these adhered on. Now that my letters are attached, I did have to apply some pressure to it in order to get the liquid glue to stick onto the paper, but it ended up sticking out just fine, sticking down, I guess. And so then the very last thing that I did is I came in here with some of these really cute sequins in here, and I just picked out the colors that went with the papers. So I put 3 down here and then 3 up here. And to do that, I went ahead and placed some dots of the liquid glue and then placed my sequins down on top of it. All right, that is it. This is our card. I love how bright and cheery it is. Isn't that just the cutest? Makes you happy just looking at it. Thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out with me. I look forward to putting these videos together. I don't know, I just feel like I'm getting to know you guys, and I feel like when I sit down, I'm no longer just talking to a camera, but I'm talking to all of you guys. I absolutely love the amazing comments that you leave me. I look forward to seeing each and every one of them as they come up, and you know, it's hard to explain it in a video, but it puts a smile on my face, and I'll find myself reading and responding to your comments with just the smile on my face. I wish you guys could see it, because this really does bring me joy to be able to do this. So thank you for watching. I really do greatly appreciate it. I will check you later. I have sketch number 364, I believe, coming up. I'm going to have to start writing these down, especially as I get going throughout the year. So excited to bring that to you. Thank you again. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. WorldofJenCraft.com if you want downloadable printable dimensions and supply list. And I will catch you later. Bye.